Good morning, good morning. Um, Let me just get everything ready and we will talk about today's trade. I think my volume is a little bit too low. 1 second. Okay, that should be better. Okay, so we'll just give it a few, but we're bullish today and we need price to go down here and close below this level right here. Give me 1 second. I have everything ready, so alright. Alright. Sorry if you heard an echo. Okay, so today we don't have much news, so hopefully we do see price at least drop down past this level, and this level we need a trade below this 50% line. And okay. I'll just wait for a few more people to join in. What we may see here is price continue to play in this area before going higher and then dropping, or we'll see price drop first, but we have no news to drive this market, right? So regardless of what happens now, we still need price to get down here. So I'll be right back in a few minutes. Alright, since there's nothing going on, and when I'm back we'll talk about the news trade and the gold 15-minute trade. Alright, be right back. Alright, I'm back. Um, let's take a look at this. What's going on now? Okay, so from what I could see here is price is probably gonna go higher before it goes lower. And if I just duplicate this, sorry. Okay, so from what I'm seeing right now, price may very well reverse here, but we are bullish on the day, right? But when price does something like this where it keeps going up before we get an entry, price may very well reverse to this area to give us an entry. So if it goes higher, maybe we will wait for a bearish engulfing to go lower, okay? So, this candle's not a bearish engulfing, but let me go ahead and sync my time. Alright. What I was also going to look at was the 15-minute charts. Looks really bullish right now. I do believe it's going to reverse though. Alright, let's go to, let me delete this. This is not a valid setup. So last week's setup was Friday. We had a buy setup, right? But it never hit take profit on a 15-minute chart. So where's the, I think it was right here. I'm trying to, this is on British pound, sorry. I should be looking at gold. We will use the forex.com. So it would have been a loss if you kept it over the weekend. So we exit right at this candle here. Which one would it be? Maybe even this one or around here. So you probably got out at break even or a little bit in loss, right? Depending on when you got the entry. Today we are bearish for the 15-minute setup. So this is good that the 15-minute is lining up with what I'm telling you guys about the 1 minute, where I would like price to reverse from up here. Alright, because we didn't get the original setup on gold, I will be bearish on gold. So in this case here we have prices lurking up here. Now for the 15-minute signal, I will be taking this. For those of you who have Social Trader connected, I will be taking this on the trade copier. So we should be, yeah, from this week I will be taking this trade. Okay. hold on, let me see here. So we have prices driving up. What we would like to see now is one red candle and another red candle, and hopefully they go below this low right here. Okay, so if the next red candle is engulfing, we could possibly take it once the stochastics have flipped over to the orange being above the blue. On the 1 minute here, we are bullish, right? But what I'm thinking is price is going to go up and then it's going to come down, right? I may not just take a trade to go down because it's not a confirmed trade, right? Our confirmed trade is a bullish setup. During London, however, I want to say during London, it had a bullish setup, right? Let me go back here. Okay, so not there, not there either. Okay, so right here, on this candle here, it would have had a setup. However, this is past 5 o'clock. This is the last candle you trade. But if you did take this one here, it gives it more risk. So personally, I don't like the risk. Let me see. 2R would have probably been hit. Yeah. So yeah, 2R would have been hit, but because it came after the time frame of when we're trading, I wouldn't take this. Now, besides this setup, this is on 15-minute chart, right? So we do need a red candle or a black candle in my case to appear here next 15 minutes, and then possibly another one as well, and then maybe we'll get a trade setup. So in about 30 minutes to 45 minutes, we should see if we have a sell setup on this pair right here. It did take out these double highs right here, and since this was a break-even trade, I will just close this off. This was from the trade last week, Friday. Okay, so we took out liquidity here, right? And overall we're looking for a bearish scenario to play out. On our 1 minute, we still don't have anything showing us its hand. So now, what I want to talk about, since we are waiting, I don't want to waste your time, so let's talk about the news tonight. So let me go ahead and load this right here. And we have 2 sets of news tonight, so we will look at 15-minute charts, and I do believe it is on odd news, right? Is it AUD news tonight? Okay, at midnight we have AUD news, okay? Which is cash rate and rate statement. So let's take a look at what happens, okay? So the last cash rate was July 4th. So here's how I find my risk reward for these pairs, okay? So the last cash rate was July 4th, right? So if I go back July 4th, where's July 4th? I want you guys to look at how exactly I find these setups. So obviously, right here, I found the news right here, right? So I can tell GBP AUD was a loss. Okay, now if I duplicate this just to open a new chart, and on this new chart I'm going to go with AUD USD. Okay, and we'll just look at the forex.com chart, and we'll go to the 15-minute, and we'll go to July 4th. Okay, so July 4th was right here. So I'm going to assume, because this is a USD pair, right? If we took a sell right there with a 10 pip stop loss, this would have hit 3R, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it would have hit 3R, right? So you would have probably got slightly more than 3R, but overall, your 3R would have been hit right there, right? So you would have lost your sell on this, which would have been on GBP pairs. You're using 15 pip, right? So if your sell was right here near the end of the candle, so let's say maybe it's a little bit lower, your 15 pip stop loss would have been right here, and you would have gotten stopped out. Okay, now the reason I look at this is because what I want to see is that I want to see a straight move during news, right? So we'll go to another day, which the previous time news happened was June 6th. So I don't care about the numbers of the news, okay? What I want to see is on the chart, I want to see price make a sharp move, okay? So here's the news candle, obviously, and we'll say we shorted right at the end of that candle with 10 pips. So on this side, we obviously know it lost, okay? And on this one here, what day was it? Let me see. It was June 6th. So if we go back June 6th on this day, here's the news candle. If we entered right there with a 15 pip stop loss, obviously I know we weren't taken out, so, and in this case, look at how much it went. It went 8R. So here's what I want you guys to do when you're taking the news trades, alright? I've explained this before and I'll explain it again. You're only setting a stop loss. Your take profit, you're going to take at any point in time after it reaches 3R, you're going to stop out. Now, if it hits 3R and then starts reversing, obviously you're going to get out, right? If it hits 3R and it keeps going, maybe you get a little bit more, like 3.5, 3 point. You won't know how much you get because it's going to drop and then it's going to drop again, okay? So once it hits 3R, wait for one more push. If it starts pushing back up, exit. If it starts pushing further down, just keep watching it and then just exit, okay? So that way you will get more than 3R and it's worth the risk. Now let me look at one more day. So May 2nd was the, and I can't take these on Social Trader, guys, I'm sorry, but if you're on the trade copier, I cannot take the news releases because there's just too much risk. You know, I'm risking 5 accounts, okay? Because if one of your accounts slip, then it's kind of like it messes everything up for everybody. Okay, so here's the news again, right here. So let's see if this would have sold. So obviously if one side wins, the other side loses, right? So if I'm looking, we're only selling. So if I'm selling right here at the end of this candle, right? And I'm going to go ahead and replay this back right here, just so we're not cheating. Let's go on the 5-minute chart. So on the 5-minute chart, we know that price was here. So even if we took it right there, like in the middle, and put a 15 pip stop loss, we know that we were not taken out of this trade, okay? So if I slowly go to the next candle, if you do not set a take profit, look what happens. This 5-minute candle shot straight down, which means you could have gotten anywhere of this take profit between 3 and 10. Okay, obviously I don't think you're going to hit it at the bottom, right? I don't think you're going to hit it at the bottom. But you could definitely get more than 3 because it's not going to slowly drop. It's going to make an initial drop and then another drop and then possibly a reversal or another drop. Okay? So in this case, since it looks like it shot straight down, you could have probably gotten an 8R on this trade. So how I determine if the news is going to be good or not is by just doing this. I just look at when last the news was. So if I go back to 15 minutes, so obviously I'm not going to go ahead and go on odd USD, right? Because I already know this won. So then this lost, right? So if I won 3R or 8R or 5R, whatever second I took this out of the trade, whatever time I took this out of the trade, I basically know I lost 1R on AUD USD. Now let me look at it one more time. So we have April 4th. Let's go to April 4th and right here. So obviously we know April 4th was right here, so this one lost. Okay, this was the news right here. So if I was to sell right here at the end of this candle, which is before news, obviously we know this one lost, right? And now I will go to AUD USD and I will go to April 4th and we have to see right here. We have to see if this one lost right here. We had price right there, we got in right there, assuming we got in. 10 pips was up here, so yeah, you didn't get stopped out. Did it hit 3R? It didn't hit 3R on the initial push, but it did end up hitting 3R. So here's where it gets a little interesting. On this day here, you would have lost GBP AUD instantly, but look, it took you about 2 hours or so to hit take profit. In this case here, you could have feared losing 2%, but there is high likely chance that you will lose 2%, okay? Let's see what gold is doing really quick. Okay, so maybe not this candle, but next candle we could see a down signal to go down. If we look on the 1 minute, we did have a engulfing right here, but I'm not taking any engulfing trades right now because we had another engulfing here. Because we're bullish for the day. I do think it's going to go down, and maybe this engulfing was a good one right here. But there's no point in risking this. If there's no trade, there's no trade. We're not going to force a trade, but we will get another chance with the 15-minute. And the videos should be up today. I did finish them, but some of the audio is messed up, so I will re-upload. Okay? Let me look at the news one more time. So March 6th is the last one I'm going to look at. Okay? So we had the same news on March 6th. I hope I'm able to help you guys understand how I look at the news trade with this, just so in case I don't get there in time. So March 6th was right here. This was the news candle, right? Let me make sure. Yeah, this is March 6th right here. So obviously GBP AUD lost the sell. So if I go back on this chart here, March 6th was right here. And if we short right at the top of this candle, well, we're gonna short a little bit. It's not gonna be super accurate, right? But it's going to give us a sort of like area of where we're going to sell. Okay, so within one candle, this hit TP, which is what essentially we want to happen. So altogether, we looked at about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 setups. Okay. On all 5 setups, it gave us a sharp move, and only one did not hit TP instantly. So tonight, it's going to be after midnight, right? It's going to be at 12:30. Okay, the news for AUD is going to be 12:30, and what you're going to do is, I'm telling you now, okay, so we can review it later. I'm going to write it. If I go back to the chart, let me go ahead and just do this. And I will go to gold. Okay, so it still wants to keep going up. So this is why I didn't really have confidence in this setup here, but let me go ahead and write out the setup for you guys. So this is in Eastern Standard Time, okay? Where is the text? So I'll write it here so you can review this information. So let me go ahead and put it red, and we will do at 12:30 a.m. we'll say August 1st. We have GBP AUD. Well, actually, we will go with 12:29. 12:29. I think exactly at 12:29 should be fine. Okay, you could do it a little bit less, but what I would like to do is basically at 12:29 I'm going to place the sells on both of them, and then I'm going to manually adjust the stop loss. Okay, now obviously if you're using magic keys you could just set it up pretty easily, but I'm gonna mark it execute at 12:29 a.m. August 1st, and we will go with, let me go ahead and delete this first right here like this. We will go with a sell, 15 pip stop loss, and actually let me go ahead and increase you could turn this up just a little bit. Maybe you could put 16 pip stop loss with 45 pip, not 45 pip, but like 48 or something, 46 pip take profit for this one, and obviously okay, so this is what you're going to do at 12:29. Sounds good. You could take a screenshot of this, right? Once you do that, you just, so actually you don't even have to set the TP. You could just leave TP open. Let me go ahead and put TP open. There you go. So you set the stop losses, and you just leave the TP open and just watch your balance at the bottom. And obviously if you're going to risk 1%, then you want take profit to be over 3%, okay? Do you guys have any questions? Does it make sense? And by the way, this is in New York time, right? So I'll just do this. So this is exactly what you're going to do. I think it doesn't get any easier than this, but if you don't understand, please let me know. This is a free, pretty much it's a free signal if anybody takes it. I don't think it's going to lose. Now, if you do lose, obviously, if you're taking this on a funded challenge, you don't want to risk more than 1%, right? Or more than 2% total. So you're risking 1% on each side. Or you could risk 0.5 on each side, because there's always a chance that it could lose, okay? There's always a chance both of these could lose. And how that would happen is if price did something like this, where it started going down, it took out your stop loss, right? On, let's say, AUD USD, and then it went up again, and then your GBP AUD got stopped out. So there's always a chance that this could happen, and then you lost 1% on each side, okay? But the chances are pretty low right now for this to happen. So that is why we would take this. Now, let me go ahead and take a look at 15 minutes. So 15 minute is still going higher. Hopefully we get a trade here. We're gonna have maybe within the next few candles, we will see if we get a signal, but as far as I'm aware, we want price to now come back below here with stochastics flipping over. Again, if you have any questions about the trade on, okay, so gold here is forming an engulfing, right? I'm not taking any opposite engulfing right now. And there's no drilling entry, because drilling entry would have been bullish, okay? So we don't have any drilling entry today, and we do see a signal popped up right here. This could be the signal that continues going down, but I'm not going to trust this. Why? Because we had an engulfing here that didn't make it after the high. The wick is too long, and this seems very bullish right now. Now it could drop, but I'm not going to risk it on this trade here. I don't so with the gold drilling this morning, if you entered 50% of the imbalance right here, and your stop loss was 5 pips, because 2 pips plus that would have been 3, but we don't take any stop loss below 5. Take profit being the high of the day. This possibly could have worked out right here for the gold drilling, but the rules are you probably want it below the 0.5, right? And you're only taking one entry before 820, so I mean this was the only entry before 820 anyway, but yeah, that would have been a gold drilling entry right there. I usually want it below here, right? So the bias is bullish, but the entry is wrong. And here we have this right here. This could have been your entry, as I said, but I'm not trading this, guys. The reason I'm not trading this is because I personally want to go the whole month this month without taking an unconfirmed setup. I only want to take setups that align with my rules, okay? So none of this setup right here. Not this gold entry. Yes, in hindsight they could win, but yeah, so that was the entry before 820. But you take profit, there's no midnight open. Midnight open is all the way below here, so midnight open was not the TP. The TP would have had to be the high of the day, right? Which is up here. So yes, it would have been a gold drilling entry, but personally I would have looked for it below here, okay? Down here. But if you're waiting for me to start the stream up, then and you're watching your charts, you could enter a gold drilling. It doesn't matter. Sometimes I start the stream a few minutes late, so okay. Do you guys have any questions about tonight's trade? Because I personally don't think we're going to get a gold trade. Now, we had enough time to take this trade setup that I was just telling you guys about, right? But I still don't think, even though it's worked out, guys, I know some of you, your impulses would think, maybe I should have taken this. This looks like it would have been a nice trade. And yes, in hindsight, this does look like it would have been a nice trade, but it's not worth it. Because our bias for the day is bullish, and I do know that sometimes I do switch bias based on if this happens. Obviously, I think we're going to get a retracement, and our 15-minute setup is actually aligned with us, right? So currently, we could be bearish, right? So we had two factors going with us, but it's still not a confirmed 1-minute setup. So I would have rather taken this gold drilling entry right here, right, where it's not below the 50%, than take an opposite directional trade up here. Anyway, if you have any questions, just let me know. Keep this in mind. Please set alarms, okay? If you're going to be awake at this time, set an alarm. This is definitely worth your time, okay? You could lose 2%, right? We know you could lose 2%, but you could also make 2%, right? So it's technically a 1-to-1, but with like, let's say an 80-90% chance of you winning. So you're basically risking 2%, right? 1% on each side. And you have a 90% chance to win 2%. So it's a risk worth taking. Now, I'm not going to say I've done tremendous research on the AUD news, so I know for sure it's 90%, because mostly I focus on NZD news. But I do know that just from what I saw this year, right? Because I just went through this year's trades, and all of them won. Now it's not 100%. Obviously, nothing is 100%. Okay, anything can happen. But we have tons of news this week to trade on AUD. Okay, so we have AUD tonight at after midnight, and then we have NZD tomorrow at 6:45. So assuming you lose 2% on this trade right here, tomorrow we have another trade that you can take 1% on each, and it's on NZD, which could easily get back your 2%. Okay? So keep that in mind, that it doesn't matter if you lose or not tonight. The key is to just take the trade how you see it. Okay? Do this exactly how I have it here. Now your stop loss could maybe be slightly different. You could put 12 pips here. You could put 18 to factor for spreads. Okay? Because last week we decided to take a USD JPY trade, and you know what happened? I had 16 pip stop loss. It went exactly 15 pips, and because of spreads it took out my 16 pip stop loss and then shot down. So if I had it at 17 pip or 18 pip, I would have won that trade and it would have been a 2R win. But because it shot up and took me out, I lost that trade. And that happens. So if you want to use something like this, you can. Okay, just to adjust for spreads. Okay, the spreads aren't really that high depending on what you're using. For my news account, I am using the Funded Engineer. Okay, so use the Funded Engineer or True Forex Funds. Don't use My Forex Funds. I believe My Forex Funds during news, their spreads do go higher. Okay, and if you use the Funded Engineer, use the Purple Trading Server. I do believe they give you a choice when you sign up. So again, use the Funded Engineer, True Forex Funds, whatever it is. I am not going to take news trades on the trade copier. Okay, at least not for now. Here's what I'm going to do, guys. We're going to wait one more 15-minute candle. If this closes, hopefully it closes below here or at least touches here, and what we want to do is something like this. Okay, stop loss above here and take profit would be down here. Okay. This is something we will be looking at in the next 15 minutes, or at least in the next 10 minutes. So depending on how this candle closes, I would like it to go below here. Otherwise, I want the next candle to go below here. And then I will take the trade to go down. Okay? And this would be on a 15-minute, based on 15-minute charts. Okay? There is no news today, so we may not get that much of a move. But on weekdays, alright, on weekdays it doesn't matter. We could hold the trade on weekdays. We have news for USD at 9:45 and at 10 a.m. I do believe. Is this today? No, that's not today. That's tomorrow. So we have news at 9:45 today. But it's nothing important. Okay. Once this candle, give Give me 1 second. Okay. We have about 5 minutes for this trade here, and these are just basic fractals, by the way. If you see the arrows, they're not anything impressive, okay? They're basically swing highs and swing lows. I think I said that last week, right? Okay. If we could get a close below here, or not even a close, but if we could get a touch or something in the next 5 minutes, then this may set up. Otherwise, I'm going to wait one more candle. Here is basically the high it took, right? It closed off both these highs. It's in about imbalance right here, a big imbalance. So overall, I do think it's bearish. On the 1 minute, it has yet to break structure. On 1 minute, it has to go below this level right here to tell us that it wants to go down. It has to close below this area. Let's see on the 5 minute. Yeah, on the 5 minute, it should go below here. So it bounced off this imbalance right here. And sorry if you hear my dogs. Okay. We'll wait a few more minutes. Now this system isn't really, it's not 100%, right? I don't even think this is 80%. It's mostly probably like 60-70%, honestly. But you get a setup almost every single day, so Last night, I don't know if you guys looked at USD JPY. I do believe it was a profitable night. Now, I do have one last. So, like I said, after this morning delight setup right here, I do have one more system for premium, which is going to be another gold setup, but it's going to be for London session, okay? So I don't really know how many of you trade London, but I will give you something to trade for London session. It's usually between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. So if you're ever up during that time, or you want to set an alarm for that time, I do have some results I was looking at. It seems pretty good, mostly pretty good. You could take the trade, set and forget. You don't need to place anything at break even. You take the trade and then you just wait. So right now we're waiting 1 more minute to see what happens here. Okay, now you see, me being impulsive, I would have taken this trade right here. Okay, but I still wanted to be below here. So I may set up, so here's what I'm going to do. I may just set up a small trade, and what I will do is, let me go ahead and find out which charts. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a sell stop, sorry. So I'm going to do this. Let me show you guys what I'm going to do that way. I'm going to do something like this. I'm going to do a sell stop down here. Now if it goes past up here, I'm not going to take the trade anymore, and it's going to be a 2-hour trade. Okay? So this is what I'm going to set up. Oh, looks like it wants to get down there already. So I'm going to set it up right now. I'll maybe place it just a pip below. Okay, so take profit is down here, and I just want to make sure that it is around the same level. For some reason my take profit is actually way down lower, like down here, which is okay. Now if you're not super confident in this setup, you don't have to take it. So I will put this by sell stop. I just want to make sure my TP is correct. Okay, so I have my sell stop order. I just placed the sell stop and it looks exactly like how I have it on the chart now. So this is how it's going to be. However, if this reverses and goes up here first before activating the trade, then I'm going to just cancel the order, okay? So if this goes up here first, I'm going to be watching it throughout, you know, the next. I'm going to end the stream soon, but I'll be watching my charts for this. So if this goes up first before hitting me in, I'm going to close this right here. I'm going to close the sell stop. Okay? Now, the thing is, as you could see here, this could just flip up and keep going higher, right? That's why we don't use stochastics as entry. We use them as an indication of where price wants to go, right? And right now price looks like it wants to go lower. But we have to be mindful that today is a bullish day, okay? Today is bullish. 4 hour has a strong bullish buy candle. 1 hour has a strong bullish buy candle. This could be a slight pullback and then the next 1 hour keeps going higher to fill this imbalance right here. As you see, it has a huge imbalance right here, right? So it could be trying to fill this imbalance. So the next candle could push up. And I'll leave it like this. And 30 minutes, we see prices going down. The one thing they do have in common, which is the daily stochastics is actually going lower, right? The momentum is lower. The 4 hourly is bullish. The 1 hourly is looks like it's bullish, but it wants to flip over. And then 30 minutes has flipped, and obviously the 15 minute has flipped. So this is what we're looking at right now. Once price gets below this low right here, perhaps, or 50% of this, I will move stop loss to break even. So if I can just do this right here. Okay, so if price comes right here, up here, I will move stop loss to break even, because what will this be? This will be a break and retest. So we're in the trade. So if it does this, I'm moving stop loss to break even once price touches this, because this is, I believe this is like a break retest to go higher, but also this could be a, I believe this might be an order block, right? I'm not sure because I don't really look at ICT concepts, but correct me if I'm wrong. This could be an order block, or it could be down here, but whatever it is, this is more likely like to happen if price does go down here and it starts bouncing back. So I will move stop loss to break even down here. I'll keep watching it for a little bit. Let's see what it's doing on the hourly. I mean on the 1 minute. On 1 minute, it's slowly starting to make its way back down. Looks like it wants to retest this level. So it closed below this area right here, which is a good sign, because if you remember our Asian session setup, this is our Asian session setup where it breaks highs and then it breaks the last low before the high right here. So it's changed character. On the 15-minute it hasn't, I mean on the 5-minute it hasn't closed below here. It would be nice for it to close here. It already retested this imbalance right here on the 5-minute. So it would be good if it kept going down, but like I said, it could come down, retest this area right here, and then keep bouncing higher. Anyway guys, that's pretty much it for me today. Let's take a review really quick. Right now we're in drawdown, but let's review today really quickly before I end the stream. So we have this trade coming up, 12:29. So this is after midnight, okay? So it's tonight. I will remind you when we get closer to this time, but please be aware that we have news at 12:29, August 1st, New York time. So this is at midnight, and we're going to be taking GBP sell 15 pips, between 15 to 18 pip stop loss, right? And we will put this one at 10 to 15 or 10 to 12 pip stop loss. Must take TP over 3R. Okay, so you're gonna, if you're risking $100, your TP has to be $300, okay, or more. So it's an open TP, but make sure it's above 3R. I'll be around. We'll see how that goes. But anyway, guys, let me know if you plan on taking this, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good day.